Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's severe weather update. So, tomorrow we're going to have another, even more significant severe weather threat across Texas, especially across north central and northern Texas, where the Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk of severe weather for tomorrow in the orange, encompassing areas from Waco through Dallas through Tyler. We have a slight risk surrounding that in areas like Abilene, Wichita Falls, Shreveport, and Lufkin, extending into southern Oklahoma, and a marginal risk surrounding that in the dark green. We also have a severe weather threat across the Florida Peninsula tomorrow, where the Storm Prediction Center has issued a slight risk of severe weather for areas like Tampa, Orlando, Melbourne, and Fort Myers in the yellow, and a marginal risk extending into Georgia in the dark green tomorrow. Now, looking at tomorrow's tornado threat, we have a 5% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location from Abilene through Dallas in the brown area tomorrow, and a 2% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location in the green area in areas like Waco and Wichita Falls. So make sure you are paying close attention to the weather tomorrow, as we're going to be seeing a few tornadoes in the green and especially brown area, and we could be seeing a couple of strong tornadoes as well if we can get some of these supercells to develop and become discrete cells. So make sure you're monitoring the weather closely and have your tornado shelter plan in place if you live across north and north central Texas tomorrow. Looking at the damaging wind threat, the damaging wind threat is actually going to be the largest threat tomorrow, as we're going to be seeing a large mesoscale convective system develop tomorrow evening and move across north central Texas into east central Texas, where we have a 30% chance of damaging straight line winds of 58 miles per hour stronger within 25 miles of location in this red area tomorrow, especially tomorrow evening, a 15% wind risk in the yellow, 5% wind risk in the brown, also a 15% wind risk across much of the central and northern Florida peninsula tomorrow. So make sure you're watching out for damaging winds there as well, with a 5% damaging wind risk extending into Georgia and the brown area as well. And looking at the hail threat tomorrow, we once again have a significant hail threat across North Texas, where the Storm Prediction Center has issued a 15% significant hail risk for areas like Abilene, Wichita Falls, and Dallas-Fort Worth, just northwest of Waco, in the yellow hatched area tomorrow. So these hailstones could be once again getting to golf ball, baseball, even softball size in this yellow hatched area tomorrow. So make sure you're parking your cars in the garage if you live in the yellow hatched area tomorrow. We have a 15% chance of quarter-size hail or larger within 25 miles of a location in the yellow area, and a 5% chance in the brown area tomorrow. We also have that 15% hail risk across central Florida and 5% going into Georgia. So make sure you're preparing for some hail if you live in this area as well. Now, timing out the storms tomorrow. Tomorrow is not going to be like today where it's a boom or bust scenario. Tomorrow is going to be a day where we are going to be seeing severe weather. It's going to be a boom scenario tomorrow. So by noon tomorrow, we're going to be seeing widespread heavy rain across much of Oklahoma, northwest Texas. And as we go into the afternoon, around 3 o'clock, we're going to see our supercells begin to initiate somewhere between Abilene and Wichita Falls. And when they initiate, they're going to be producing some massive hail. So make sure you're preparing for that. Could see another area of hailers on the Red River border near Sherman. Going into 3 and 4 o'clock, massive hailstorms are going to be moving across northwest Texas, possibly producing tornadoes, especially if they're discrete. So, and going into 5 and 6 o'clock, we're going to be seeing the line of storms begin to develop, producing very large hail damaging winds approaching the Dallas-Fort Worth area, another cluster near Texarkana, and watch out even towards central and east central Texas. We're not going to have that cap tomorrow, so we could see an isolated supercell develop sometime between 3 and 5 o'clock in central to east Texas, so make sure you're watching out in these areas as well tomorrow. Going into 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, the line's going to be pushing to Dallas-Fort Worth, and as we go into 8 o'clock, we could be seeing big wind-driven hailstorms just south of Dallas or in Dallas, as well as Shreveport. Going into 9 and 10 o'clock, these storms are going to push into Waco, past Shreveport. Another round could be moving into Dallas-Fort Worth as well, and we could be seeing large hailers moving into the hill country. Going into 11 o'clock, a line of hail-producing storms could be pushing towards Waco and towards Temple and towards the hill country. Very large hail and damaging winds are going to be likely with these storms as they push southeast through the overnight. And by 1 a.m., they're going to be pushing towards the Austin area, actually by 2 to 3 a.m., and then going into East Texas by 3 to 4 a.m. As we go into around 5, 6 a.m., we could see another cluster of storms across southwest Texas push into Austin by 6 a.m., going across central Louisiana by 6 a.m., going into Mississippi by 8 a.m., and then we could still be seeing lots of severe storms with winds and hail across portions of southeast Louisiana, Mississippi into tomorrow morning. So taking a look at the convective available potential energy, the instability tomorrow, I mentioned earlier that that we're not going to have a cap tomorrow to prevent storms from developing. So by noon, we're going to be having an uncapped atmosphere across much of central, south, and northwest Texas with CAPE between 2,000 and 3,000 joules. So the atmosphere is going to be uncapped tomorrow across these areas. Going into 4 o'clock, we see the instability go to 3 to 4,000 joules per kilogram, uncapped. And going into 7 o'clock, the atmosphere remains uncapped tomorrow across Texas, with instability reaching between 3 to 4,000 in central Texas. So I do believe that tomorrow is going to be a dangerous day for severe weather across north central and possibly central Texas as well, due to lots of instability and lack of capping. So make sure you're getting ready tomorrow for a severe weather outbreak across north central and possibly central Texas, especially in the enhanced risk as well as the slight risk areas tomorrow. Prepare for a few tornadoes, which could be strong to significant if we can get the supercells to be discrete, as well as lots of damaging winds through the evening with the mesoscale convective system, and possibly some gorilla hail once again across northwest Texas. So make sure you're preparing for all of that if you live in the risk areas tomorrow. Thanks for watching this evening's severe weather update. Stay safe. Have a wonderful evening, my friends.